it's Becky, and it's time for our weekly wrap-up and chat where I show you what I made this week and talk about my plans for next week, and then, just chat about whatever I'm thinking about. It's kind of a vlog sort of thing. I never thought I would be doing that in my life, but hey, look, here I am. Anyway, so this week I made a lot of earrings because for the month of April, I am making a pair of earrings every day. I have not made a pair of earrings yet today, so I'm going to make one with y'all in this video. But first I'm going to show you the other things that I made this week, and then we'll make something together. And we'll talk about next week as well, what my plans are, and if I have any, I might just play it by ear. So anyway, yeah. Making a pair of earrings every day is just something that I wanted to do. I did it last year in April, and I think April is a good month for me to do that. It's a nice kind of in-betweeny month for me for some things, and so it works out pretty well that I can, sit down, make a pair of earrings, have something right happen for me that day, and everything is good with that. So the first pair of earrings that I made was these ones that I made to go with the Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box with my little chicken guys and some leafy things, and these are just some big, beautiful, bold earrings that have sparklies. I love this chain we have there. It has some silver silk involved in it too, and it was made to go with this that I made on a previous week. I had planned these, but then I never got around to making them, so I decided that they were going to be the first earrings that I made for my challenge, because I didn't want these plans that I'd had and then not done to be like hanging over my head as oh, I should have done that, but no. And you can see how well they go actually with this. I love it. So these were the first ones that I did. They were a lot of fun to make. And then I think the next ones were the ones that I made with the bargain bead box. And with that, I actually made a set of jewelry where I did a triple strand necklace with a focal, wire wrapped focal. And I used the rest of the March bargain bead box, and I combined it with the companion bundle that I had. And we did this, and that's what it looks like when it's worn. I love that. It hangs exactly the way I wanted it to. And then I made a triple strand bracelet. I did not do a ring with this one, just because I didn't really feel like adding more things to what I'm doing. And it looks like I might have made this a little bit short, or else it's just one of those situations where I'm on camera and so nothing is working right because I'm on camera, which happens to me sometimes, where like I'll be able to do up a bracelet or something as soon as the camera gets turned off, but like not on camera. Anyway, I'm gonna put that down for right now because these were the earrings that I made, and they were using some of those same chandelier components. And like, chandelier components are fantastic because it just gives you a little extra like oomph, and when you're making your things. And I really love the way that these look with the necklace. There you go. That's the whole thing. All right, let's take these off. And then I think the next ones I made were the ones with the rainy day blues box, which I really need to get into because I love those colors and there's so many beads in that. But I made these really easy ones. It was on one of my days when I just was really busy, so I didn't have a lot of time to do a big long video with a big tutorial or anything like that. And so I made them, and one of the things that I do, and I did this last year when I did it, was to make a short that is kind of time-lapsed, to make it So it can fit within the 1-minute constraints that the shorts have on YouTube. And some of y'all have let me know that the shorts are difficult for you to watch. So in addition to the shorts, I am going to also be posting a tutorial on the regular videos. So if you cannot watch shorts, do not watch them. But this one was one where I kind of challenged myself to make this whole earring, both earrings, in the space of a minute without doing any time lapse, without fast forwarding it, without doing anything trickery like wise. And I remade these like several times because like right when I'd get to the end of it, I'd have like 2 more seconds in the video, and it was because like I dropped something and then had to pick it up or something, and it was just after about like the 10th take, I just decided that I would cut out the part where I dropped something and picked it up so it would still fit in there. And so I think I did a pretty good job on that. It was mostly the wire wrapping or the cutting the wire. I actually dropped it in the middle of cutting it. But yeah, so we've got those. And then we made some delicious looking chicken feet and tomatoey earrings using the Beads to Live By subscription for this month. And like I said, one of the things that I like about getting these sort of subscriptions is sometimes they push me outside of my color comfort zone a little bit, and that's not a bad thing. Like, this color really goes great with this part of my hair. And it looks really good with it. And it's a really warm and kind of inviting color. There we go. With like these greens and the vermilion and all these fun guys. So that was the next one that I made with y'all. Then I made some cluster earrings with the new bargain bead box. And this one was ones that we made just by taking some of these beads and some of these flowers and creating drops with them and then combining them into a cluster. Let me show you how they hang. Let's see, they hang like that. They are really fun, swingy, jangly, dangly kind of earrings. And they look like spring to me. They look like spring. And then the last ones that I made, and I made these yesterday, and they were with the Strawberry Fields Magical Mystery Bead Box. And I was actually about to, let me turn that around so it's facing the right way. I was about to make like a whole set of jewelry with this. And then, you know, life gets lifey, things get busy, and I had to spend a little more time doing other things around the house and not making a bunch of jewelry. And so I just made these, and that is what I made yesterday, were these. And they are sparkly and pretty, and I have plans for the rest of those things. So I think this coming week, I am going to make some things both with the Rainy Day Blues kit and with the Magical Mystery Bead Box. And I want to get into the Gina's, the GGC treasure box that I just got. It's the first time that I was able to like actually secure the package, because I always got there too late to be able to buy any of them because it's very limited amounts. So I was really happy that I got one of them, and I really appreciate that she's trying to expand how many she can put together, and that's why there were 2 different choices for colors, was so that she could have more availability for more people to be able to get some, because it is definitely one of those things that you kind of have to hustle to get to in order to do that. So I'll be making something with her stuff, but definitely I want to get to more of these Magical Mystery Bead Box makes, and the soft flex kit. I love the soft flex kit. They put so many beads in there, more than they usually do. But before we get started making some earrings, I just want to show you one thing that I made that does not have a video because I made it just on my own, and that is this Zinnia garland bracelet. This came in the Potomac Beads kit box. So they have kits for it. They also have a video on their channel, and I'll link to that video in my description if y'all wanted to make one too. It's a lot like some of the other like daisy chain super duo kind of bracelets that you may have seen before, but it's got 8 super duos instead of 10. I think it's a 3mm bead in the center, and then instead of a right angle weave unit between each of the flowers, it just merges right into it from one to the other when you do that. So that was, you know, the big difference and change between those. But it's a nice bracelet, and it's very pretty. And so I made this just following the instructions that they included in the kit. But yeah, if you've got some super duos, 8-0s, and like a 3mm bead that you can pop in the middle of them, you can make these. It's pretty easy to do. And again, I'll put the link to the tutorial in my description so you can follow along with their tutorial on their channel and do that. But let's talk a little bit about the good beads, because someone mentioned this in one of the comments, and I replied to them about it in the comments, but I wanted to bring it out to my broader friendship sphere here on the YouTube jewelry channel areas. And that is, what do you do when you have these beads that are so nice and maybe on the expensive side, that are the really good beads and are special, and you're afraid to use them because you're like, am I good enough? Is what I'm going to make with them going to be worthy of these good beads? Do we just want to hoard them and keep them and not use them? And one of the things is that I had to kind of get over that same kind of mindset with knitting and yarn. It's that, you know, you have like this expensive, you spent $60 for a skein of yarn because it's made out of unicorn farts and possum hair, and you're like, what do I do with this? And you're like afraid to make something because what if it's not good enough? Or you're just like, what if I use this for this and then I regret it? And what if I ruin it? And what if I do all that? But I mean, it's just beads, guys. It's just beads. And even if they're expensive beads or something like that, did you buy them for them to sit on a shelf, or did you buy them to make them into something, you know? And so I am going to issue a challenge to all my friends out there to use the good beads. Use the good beads this week. You don't have to use all the good beads, but use at least some of the good beads this week. So that's what I'm going to be using for the earrings that I make. Is I'm going to be using some of the good beads that I've kind of been sitting on and not making things with, because I was like, these are special and I don't know if I'm going to be good enough at it to be able to use them. And so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to make them, because the fact is, what's the worst that could happen? I could just, you know, undo the wire that's holding them together and use them in something else, you know? You know, if I end up hating what I made it with, I can use them in something else. I'm not going to be irreparably forcing them to be something that they don't want to be. And that's the thing. Use the good beads. You deserve to be able to use the nice things that you've purchased for crafting with. You don't have to use practice beads. You don't have to use these other ones while you're learning. You can use the good beads while you're still learning. And even if you have been doing it for years and you're still like, oh, I don't know if I want to use this because what I'm saving it for a special occasion, I'm saving it for a special reason. You're special. You're a good enough reason, you know? So let's use the good beads this week. Let's make something nice with them. And so the beads that I'm going to be using, let me show you. I got some of these beads from Beads to Live By, and they are these turquoise beads that have like the copper around the outside, and I'm just going to use 2 of them out of this bag. I'm not going to use the whole thing because I would like to use the other ones for like a necklace, but I am going to grab 2 of these guys out of this bag, these ones right here, and I'm going to use them in some earrings because I have not made my earrings today, and so I'm going to use these. And let's see, I've got some check glass beads. These little purple ones will probably go really nicely with it. I've got some of these bicones. And so we're going to use those together, but I'm also, I have like a whole bunch of freshwater pearls. Like, look at all of these. These have been sitting on my shelf, y'all, for years, and I have been too afraid to make anything with them. And I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna grab some of these little guys out of here, and we're gonna make some drops and make some earrings with these turquoise beads, the check glass, and these freshwater pearls. And we're gonna do that together. So let me pull out, let's see, I think maybe three drops per earring. That sounds about right. But let me get this camera turned around so you can see my mat and you can follow along with me. And then we'll make some earrings. All right, so here are the beads that I'm going to be making with. I've got these two purple turquoise beads that have the coating on the outsides of them. They're the good beads. And some freshwater pearls that I've just been afraid to do anything with. They have pretty tiny holes. So I had to select some head pins that have a pretty fine gauge. And I've got these ball head pins in an antique copper colorway that we're going to be using. I've got a couple of eye pins that I'm also going to be using for making these earrings. And let's just clip off the end of this and get a couple of these check glass squares. And some of these bicones. I love these check glass bicones, by the way. I like how geometric they are. But yeah, so I'm gonna grab a couple of those for the earrings. And let's go ahead and make some drops. I'm gonna make one earring with y'all. And then the next one, I am going to turn it into a little short and put it on my shorts part of my channel. And because we've got such tiny holes, I need to make sure that these are super smooth and don't have any bends in them so that the pearl will go on there without needing to be forced or anything like that. And now I'm going to do a wire wrapped loop at the top of this. It doesn't need to be a big loop. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my round nose pliers, just kind of wrap around near the tip. I'm going to keep going around until I get all the way around these guys. I'm using my round nose pliers and some chain nose pliers, and I have some flush cutters if I need them. Okay, so that's one drop. Got 6 more to go. I'll actually just do 3 of them with y'all, because again, I'm going to make the other one separately. Gotta find the hole. My little guy. So yeah, I am using the good beads today. Let me set those all aside for later. This is just going to be a really simple earring design with some drops underneath the big one and some other beads up above the big one just to kind of balance it out. And then we're going to hook it onto an ear wire. And these are some of my handmade ear wires that I made earlier. I sat down and made a bunch of ear wires the other day in preparation for doing my earrings everyday project. There we go. That looks nice. So it's nice to be able to have everything that you need right at your fingertips when you're getting ready to do them. All right. Let's see if these will fit nicely on the end. I am just swinging open that little closure, that eye on the other end of this eye pin. Plop all 3 of these drops onto it so that they're on here as a little cluster. You can do more drops than this if you want to, but I think 3 is a good, decent amount. It's more than just 2, but it's not so many that they don't swing easily. So we've got that, and then we've got our special turquoisey bead. And this is a little bit, you know, inspired by Sundance sort of design. They had several earrings similar to this in their catalog. And so why not? Why not make myself something nice looking, since I have the skills and I have the beads to be able to do that. All right, so now I need to be able to make a loop up here at the top. You know what? Let's do a simple loop. So I'm bending it close to the beads because I don't need to leave some room for wrapping. And I know from experience that the part of my finger where my fingernail starts right here, if I hold the bead in this hand and I'm holding it there, that's 1 centimeter. And that's about what I like to cut to when I'm doing a simple loop, is 1 centimeter. You can use measurements. That's what I used for, you know, the longest time until I figured out that that part of my finger measures that amount. I'm actually thinking about getting a little tattoo on the side of my finger for measuring things, because it would just be so easy to be able to measure things just with my fingers and not have to use rulers for it. People do that. They get little tattoos for that. There's nothing wrong with it. All right. There we go. And there we go. We have one of these. Okay, so here are my finished nice beads as my earrings. Let me get the thing in the hole. There we go. So yeah, I hope all of y'all can find some time to use the nice beads. Or if you don't do beading and you just do some other kind of crafting, like if you're a paper crafter, use the good paper. Use the good paper. If you're a painter, use the good paints. You know? Use the good paper. Use the good paints. Use the good yarn. Use the good stuff. Because you deserve to be able to use and work with nice things. Hope y'all have a great week.